Background checks for volunteer organizations. Why background checks for volunteer organizations are important. For volunteer organizations, ensuring the safety and integrity of their operations is paramount because volunteers often work with vulnerable populations, including children, the elderly, and individuals with disabilities. In fact, over 75% of nonprofits state that background checks are critical in maintaining the trust and confidence of their donors and stakeholders as they help ensure volunteers align with the values and expectations of the organization. It is estimated that over 30% of volunteer organizations report that background checks have helped them prevent potential safety issues, underscoring the need for thorough vetting. Plus, background checks help reduce the risk of theft and fraud, which can be especially damaging to nonprofits operating on limited budgets. A typical background check for volunteer organizations includes a social trace to verify identity, a criminal history check, sex offender check, and other searches like education and employment verifications and motor vehicle records depending on the role. However, the scope of individual background checks for volunteer organizations is defined based on the specific requirements of the position being filled. Positions involving children require thorough criminal records checks and nationwide sex offender searches to help ensure the safety of minors. Financial roles typically include a criminal history search, reference checks, and credit history for volunteers handling finances to help prevent embezzlement or fraud. And general volunteer roles require at a minimum a basic background check that includes identity verification, criminal history search, and sex offender searches. Volunteer organizations generally utilized pre-configured background check packages based on the roles and responsibilities involved, ensuring the checks are both appropriate for the risk involved and cost-effective. Background checks for volunteers are a vital component of volunteer management, ensuring that individuals are suitably vetted to protect and enhance the operations of the organization. EDIFY Background Screening provides nationwide, comprehensive, fast, and affordable background checks for volunteer organizations of all sizes.